Evening, welcome to the programme. Owen Bradley with Shaun Barker, the former Derby captain, alongside, here to bring you reaction to a defeat for Derby tonight. The wait for a win at the Stadium of Light goes on. The Rams have lost 2-0 at Sunderland this evening, who've made it 4 wins out of 4 at home and gone back to the top of the Championship table. A goal 5 minutes before half-time from Joe Bellingham got Sunderland on their way. Isidore got their second after the break. Derby not able to respond and lost Nat Phillips to injury as the game went on. Yeah, no doubting Derby's effort or application once again, Shaun, but the quality not there for them tonight.
No, it wasn't. It was a bit of a shame with the way that the game started, because we were on the front foot, we were pressing quite aggressively, we were causing Sunderland a few problems and looked like we were the team that fancied this game. And then after the first maybe 10-15 minutes, we started to drop, we started to go deeper on the pitch, we started to allow Sunderland that little bit more time, that little bit more freedom. And it was a couple of mistakes in that central area that led to their first goal, and it was a wonderful strike from Bellingham, you can't argue with that. But in possession, those times where we won it back, we gave it away that little bit too cheaply and we got punished for it in that first half. Second half, again, we wanted that come out the traps quickly, let's put them under a bit of pressure, let's get the crowd quiet. Conceded the second goal, and you never really felt from that point that we had enough quality, we had enough detail in possession to cause Sunderland too many problems. And we've had a lot of these games where it's hard to kind of describe post-match because there wasn't a huge amount between the two teams. And I've said this on a few occasions, it was just those details, and those details in possession, especially in the final third, let us down. They had that little bit more quality when it was needed. But probably if you look at the stats, I bet there wasn't a huge amount between the two teams, because I can't remember Setterstrom having to make too many saves.
Yeah, Derby have now faced 4 of the top 8 away from home. Lost all 4. Sunderland haven't conceded at home at all so far this season. They maintain that record tonight with a 2-0 win. Let's get some reaction from the Derby boss, Paul Warne.
Disappointingly, because we didn't come away with anything. I thought we started the game really well, for what it's worth, and I thought, hey, here we go, we're quieting the crowd down quite well. And then obviously there wasn't much in the first half. I don't think either team were amazing. I just thought that they were a bit more concise on the ball than we were. We give the ball away a bit too much for my liking. We kept losing it down the middle of the pitch, which we'd worked on not to. And you know, there's always going to be mistakes in play, but I just thought we give it away one touch too many times, and a bit flicky, and a bit like you just sometimes you have to, you know, take a touch, take contact, play, and that was what I was frustrated with first half. But then obviously they scored a 30-yard absolute screamer. Again, a lot of their attacks came from our poor play, which is frustrating. But then second half, I thought we were a lot better, although ironically I say that and we conceded again, but I don't think they had many chances second half, and I thought that we had some really good stuff, and you know, another one might go in, it drops in the 6-yard box just waiting for the net to come off, and I felt like we quietened the crowd down a lot. And I thought we were the team in the ascendancy, but you know, I am being a bit critical, but you know, you need to play with that personality in the first half, not when it's not when we were 2-0 down. Anyone can play at 2-0 because there's no pressure. I need the players to stand up and you know, play with a real confidence in the first half. So yeah, that's my frustration. I just didn't think we kept the ball well enough first half. Collectively, by the way, from 1 to 11, I just didn't think we were as good as we could have been.
It's fine margins again as well, like you say, with those chances in the second half when we did have a good spell, just not falling our way.
Yeah, and then, you know, the chance they created, they squared it, and I think he'd lost centre half in the box, and it's just a simple tap in, and we were in similar areas. I mean, even the one where I think it was Kane put Caden through, overcooked the pass, and like I said, a goal then I honestly felt where we were in a real good place, and a couple of attempts, and you know, the subs that went on, as did the game changes at the weekend, had a real positive impact in the game. But unfortunately we didn't get the goal that possibly our play deserved, and if you don't score, you know, you can't change the game, getting the ascendancy. So yeah, that's the disappointing thing. I just thought we deserved the goal really, but tonight we just weren't clinical enough.
Quick turnaround back to Pride Park, obviously, where we have a good record.
Yeah, well, we need to pick the lads up Thursday because obviously they're disappointed, and you know, we've had a chat after the game what we think, and we need to pick them up and show them stuff as well and give them confidence to take 2-3 touches and move the ball. But there was some really good stuff and the stuff I was really pleased with. And if the scoreline wasn't what it was, and the old classic of my uncle, my aunt, that saying, but we just need to pick them up for the weekend and hopefully finish this international break with a win, because 3 defeats on the spin is not pleasing, and I don't want the lads to waste their lives or their careers, but I just felt tonight was a wasted opportunity. I just didn't think we played with enough courage first half, and that's on me. I have to look at myself and see what we do in training and see how we can help them for the weekend and hopefully put smiles on people's faces come Saturday.
Just a final word for the away fans who are brilliant again. I know you always appreciate their support.
Yeah, brilliant. In fairness, I said it in a previous interview, really good. Applauded them at the end, and the ones who stayed and kindly clapped off the team. I know how far it is. It's a long way on a Tuesday night when you've got work the next day, so I'd sincerely thank you. I went to Clapham before the game. All the Sunderland fans were clapping me because the lights were going on and off. I don't think they knew who I was, so I was actually clapping the Derby fans, not the Sunderland fans. But no, sincerely thanks for coming. The lads appreciate the support, and hopefully we'll be on the better end of a next away result after the international break.
That's Derby boss Paul Warne. Travelling supporters are terrific as always tonight. They've seen another defeat, Shaun. As I say, can't question the effort, can't question the application. Maybe attention to detail is again what let Derby down. Was that the problem with the opening goal to get things started 5 minutes before the break?
Yeah, well, I mentioned in commentary a few times about giving the ball away too cheaply when you win it back, especially in the central areas where they had that 3 in midfield with Bellingham dropping that little bit deeper and Rigg. And we gave it away cheaply, and then as soon as Bellingham steps onto it, and obviously you can't fault the strike, it's a wonderful strike from the youngster, but you give the ball away in really kind of precarious positions when really you need to hold the ball up, you need to link up play, you need to find a pass, and we didn't do that very well for long spells in that first half. So little moments like that can separate the sides at half time, and that's what happened. It was just that goal. And then the second half, we didn't start on the front foot like how we did in the first. It was a good goal from Sunderland's perspective, down that left-hand side. Good finish in the box from close range. And at that point, it was, well, we were going to get into it. We made the 4 substitutions, changes. There was an impact, and then it kind of softened after a chance or two. But one of those goals goes in, you're right back in the game, and it just didn't fall to us.
Yeah, Wilson Isidore with the second that probably settled the game as a contest. In terms of what Paul Warne and what Derby tried to do tonight, do you understand the changes and the change of shape when you've lost your opening 3 away games? It makes sense to try something different.
Yeah, it does, and we've seen him get wonderful victories away from home, playing a back 3 and having wing backs. I felt that it was too difficult for the centre midfielders with the extra player in there. How we pressed, sometimes it was going through the middle, and that's where they got the second goal. I think it was Neil that was beyond the 2 midfielders. They couldn't pick up all 3, and he kind of made the space for himself to play the pass. So when you play a back 3 and you're away from home, at times it looks like a back 5, which then means that you have to retreat, you have to drop that little bit deeper. So when you're on the counter, when you get the ball back, you have to take care of it. You have to have more detail. And we just didn't have that. There was a couple of opportunities in the second half, one with Wilson and Jackson, where he could be through on goal if the detail of the pass is right, and it wasn't. So those big moments when you're in possession let us down. And yeah, you had every reason to try something different. But again, we'll remind everyone we're playing against some good sides in the Championship. It's the first time for a couple of years. I think we've played 4 of the top 8. So you're not playing against the teams that are struggling for form. You're playing against the better teams in form at home, and you're only coming away from the matches with details to talk about.
As Sunderland have gone back to the top of the Championship table tonight, we'll bring that to you in a moment. First, some more reaction. Here's Kane Wilson.
I think we're disappointed. I think times in the game we felt like we could have got something from it. We tried to be as competitive as we could. I think it's just at the end of the day, sometimes our stringing a few passes together was probably our downfall.
It felt like coming out of the blocks quite fast as well, a few attacking moves, running down that wing, especially as you're getting your first minutes, creating a few chances, but it seemed to drop away at the end.
Yeah, it was, we know obviously that like Sunderland, they're like Derby, they have loads of fans, and if we started quick maybe we could kind of turn the fans against them. That was the hope. I think we did. We had a few chances at the start, and if they go in, it might be different. But that's like anything. They had a few chances, so we tried to maintain it. We changed the press a little bit in the second half just to try and get around them a bit more. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Yeah, they were a good team. Like their midfield was amazing, and sometimes it happens, but we go again.
Is it quite difficult because away from home you face teams that are all towards the top end of the table? Is it just needing to find out what the recipe is to being able to beat teams who are pretty tough?
Yeah, I know we've lost the game 2-0, but it just felt like we were competitive. It felt like we had a chance, but obviously they've scored a screamer and a well-worked goal where we get the pressure a little bit wrong and bang, they score. So it's tough for us because we feel like we are competitive in this league. I think we can definitely take some positives from the game, but at the end of the day it's a results-based business, and we've lost 2-0, so we're all gutted, and we've got to try and put it right on Saturday.
And for you, you've come back into the team after your injury against Middlesbrough. How good was it to get back out there and really attack the game? Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, everyone knows that the worst part about being a professional footballer is injury. It was a hamstring injury where I was out for maybe 3-4 weeks, but obviously it's good to be back in the team, and hopefully now we can start getting wins.
And you're up against QPR next, the final game before the international break coming up. How important is it to go into that break with some momentum?
Yeah, it's obviously massive. When we beat Bristol City 3-0 before the international break, it felt like we were on top of the world for a good week or two. So we know how important it is, the last game before the international. So we'll go there, and we know how strong we are at Pride Park with the crowd behind us. So we'll push everything we can.
Finally, talk to me about the fans. Obviously, a long trip here today. How important are they away from home and also at home next week?
No, it's amazing. They're up in the gods today, and you could just hear them singing throughout the game. So it's a credit to them. I know it's a long way back now, but I hope that they felt like we fought. I know the result didn't go to us, but we always will put everything out there. We give the badge everything we can because we love it here. So we hope that they can take some pride from the game. Thanks.
And there is Derby defender Kane Wilson. Results from the Championship tonight: wins for Burnley over Plymouth, for Cardiff over Millwall, first win of the season for Cardiff. Big win for Coventry at Blackburn's expense. Hull made it 3 victories in a row against Queen's Park Rangers, their Derby's opponents on Saturday. Draw for Oxford away at Luton, good point for them, and a point for Leeds as well, away at Norwich, the home side having a man sent off. In the late game, Middlesbrough won at West Brom, who were top going into the evening. Plenty of sides toward the bottom of the table, including Portsmouth, now the only side left without a win. They play tomorrow night. Table then, Sunderland now top after their victory over Derby this evening. Sheffield United and Watford, two of the other sides that have beaten Derby on home soil, just outside the top 6. Derby in the bottom half. Their position could change again with the teams playing tomorrow. Cardiff still bottom of the table despite that win tonight. And that's all for now. If you want more reaction, it's on the website, dcfc.co.uk. We're back Saturday. Do join us if you can, from me, Barks, and the rest of the RamsTV team. Goodbye.